Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world, wherever you're watching this video. For anyone who doesn't know me, my name's Vicky. I do a lot of live videos, but I also do other videos, mainly about true crime, but whatever happens that might be interesting for me and for my chatterati. Fact-based. If you're looking for lurid sort of social media, rubbish, shock, horror, no, you won't find that on my channel. I try and be as factual as possible, and until something's been proven or information's been officially released, it won't appear on my channel. Or I may talk about it, but only to tell everybody what a load of rubbish it is. So this video is about the Jay Slater case, which of course we've all been concerned with since Jay went missing 4 weeks ago now. 4 weeks ago, bless him. Also, I just want to say thank you to all of you that are subscribed or have liked my videos, watched my videos. Thank you so much. Don't forget to leave your DNA on the like button. That's a completely free way you can help my channel. And a very special thanks as always to my members, whether it be the Let's Chat members or the Carry On Chatting members. We have a special members live, members only exclusively live stream on a Tuesday and a Thursday evening. If you're interested in joining for that and supporting my channel, please go ahead and join. I also want to say thank you to everyone who's bought me a Ko-fi, sent me a super sticker, emailed me, left me a positive message, or supported my channel in any way. I really appreciate it. So yeah, we've been concentrating a lot on Jay Slater since he went missing. I've been covering this case from day one, from the very first day before everybody else jumped on the bandwagon. I was covering this case just because Jay comes from my neck of the woods in the north of England. I live in mainland Spain, so Jay went missing in Tenerife. And he's a young lad at the end of the day, and I have a son who's older than him, but not that much older than him. And I think we all know, any of us, either from our own youth or if we've got children who are sort of young adults, you know that they do silly things and they get drunk and they take substances and they go to raves and they try and walk home. And if they're lucky, they get home all in one piece. But unfortunately for Jay, of course, he set off to try and find his way back to his apartment in Los Cristianos, is it called, in Tenerife, which is the sort of party place. But the night before, he had, for some unknown reason that is inexplicable, he had gone up to stay at an Airbnb with two guys who it turns out were a convicted, well, one of them is a convicted drug dealer who's spent quite a long sentence in prison in the UK. So let's have a look at Jay before I want to show you a picture of him. I'm talking about him, but you may be new to this case. This is Jay. He's 19 years old, and of course, things came out that Jay had got a bit of a checkered past himself. When he was 16, he got involved in a gang, and that gang set about another young boy with machetes and an axe. A very serious offence, though I don't think Jay was one of the main protagonists, but he was part of the group. But since then, he didn't receive a custodial sentence. He served his community sentence. He was given another chance. He was apprentice bricklayer. His work speaks very highly of him. Obviously, his parents speak highly of him. And, it looked like he'd left that part of his life behind. Of course, there's lots of wild rumours flying around that he was, a drug mule or a drug pusher or, you name it, there's a rumour for it. But the only thing that we sort of know for sure is, according to witness testimony and messages that were sent, etc., Jay set off to walk, probably not really realising how far it would be for him to walk when we see the area in a moment, because we're going to look at Jay's last walk. And I call it his last walk. You know, I've tried to be positive, you know, for 4 weeks, but I think we have to accept that Jay, if he is on that mountain where he's gone missing, he will not be alive. Having said that, there's still the outside possibility that he was kidnapped, or is being kept somewhere, or is hiding himself somewhere. These are possibilities, but just going on what we know. Now, the family, of course, there's been a GoFundMe. There's been a big fuss about the GoFundMe. You know, because for some reason people seem to think that it's their right, even when they've not donated, to tell people what to do with money that's donated to them. I don't know why people think they have the right to do that. You know, that this money was I don't agree with GoFundMe's full stop, because they always cause problems. But at the end of the day, the money was donated by people who wanted to donate it. And they have to, you know, the family then have the right to do what they want with that money. You know, you cannot, you know, they don't have to justify themselves to people, one, who haven't even donated. And my advice would be, if you have donated and you're regretting it, ask for a refund, or you know, do so, you know, complain about it. But there's no point in, if you haven't even donated, complaining about it, because literally it is none of your business. Okay, that's my opinion anyway. I know you'll all have different opinions. Please feel free to leave your opinions, as long as they're respectful, in the comments. Be respectful for the family. Remember, whatever people are saying on social media, at the end of the day, this is a 19-year-old boy missing, probably dead. There's a mother, a father who are looking for him, desperate, don't even know what's happened to him. Now, today is the first day that, with that GoFundMe money, they have brought in some specialist searchers from the Netherlands. Let's just have a look at them again. We did have a look yesterday, but just let's have another look. So this specialist Dutch team with drones, and they've brought dogs as well. They're launching 5-day search for Jay Slater, thanks to GoFundMe donations. So nearly 4 weeks. It's Monday today, isn't it? Yeah, so it's 4 weeks today, is it? He's gone missing. So a month after 19-year-old Jay went missing in the remote northwest of Tenerife, a specialist search team is flying out to the island. Oh, what happened there? What happened there? Flicked onto another story. Let's see. So the authorities, the Spanish authorities, they called off the search after 2 weeks, because they probably run out of resources, or they needed their resources elsewhere. There is a limit, I suppose, to how long you can, you know, keep searching. So this, Jay's family stayed behind. I mean, how can you leave knowing that your son is out there somewhere? So they've brought in this Signy Zoekondon, it's called, which is a Dutch search squad who have specialist dogs, drones, etc. And they've brought them in. I think there's 5 men coming, it said. Dutch squad, I saw somewhere. Anyway, Debbie said, we're only able to fund this with the generosity of all those who donated. The team are the Signy Zoekondon, and this has taken lots of planning to get them over here. So thank you so much for your kindness. You know, I honestly think anyone who thinks that Jay's family is in on this, you know, you've got to think about it again, because this is Jay's mum, Debbie. She's be desperate. They wouldn't be bringing in these searchers if they didn't think they were going to find him, or hoping to find him. I think at the moment her best case scenario is finding her son's body and taking him home to bury him. That's, I think, really the best case scenario that she's working on. So all these horrible things that people are saying, YouTubers, you know, YouTubers, TikTokers, etc. And I am a YouTuber, but for goodness sake, have some principles. Just because you know, social media gets enough bad press as it is. Why give it more bad press by spreading rumours that haven't been officially confirmed? It's a big, you know, it's awful, awful. You know, until we know something for sure, we should not criticise a family that is desperately searching for their son. Just imagine if it was your son and everybody was saying all these things. Just awful. Anyway, I'm going to share this, which is their website. Of course, it's in Dutch, but you can put it in English. We've looked at it the other day. If anybody, you know, if you're interested in going on having a proper look, tells you the sort of things they do. People, it's a non-profit organisation, so you can donate, and they go all over the world. You know, it's quite interesting. Maybe they could use them in Ballarat, looking for Samantha Murphy might be a good idea. But yeah, they've got their search dogs, they've got drones, they look for people in the water, they go out to earthquake zones and try and find bodies under rubble or survivors, hopefully under rubble, or bodies if not. They're involved in any kind of recovery operation. Yeah, you know, very interesting actually reading the whole thing. Apparently they reached out to Debbie and she's using the GoFundMe money, which putting the GoFundMe money to good use. And yeah, I just hope they can find this boy and give this family some peace, some resolution. It won't be nice, but you know, what can be worse than just wondering, where is this boy? So that's them. That's the company that's gone out, and I believe they went out last night. So I'm presuming they've started searching today. They're supposed to be there 5 days, and let's hope and pray that, you know, some news is given. So what I want to do now is to just show you, you know, we've looked many times at the terrain, you know, that they're dealing with. Now let's have a look at this YouTube video. There's loads of YouTube videos about the drive, you know, along from Masca to Santiago del Teide. You know, did Jay think he could cut down here? I mean, really, when you look at it like that, it doesn't look that bad. So you could see that, don't forget, he'd been raving for 3 days. He wasn't exactly compos mentis. He's only a 19-year-old lad anyway. But I thought, oh, yeah, that's easy. I can see the beach. Just cut down here. That's one possibility. Or was he running away from someone? Some people think something untoward happened at the Airbnb where he went to with the 2 men. Was he running away from them? Was he scared? Did he want to get off the road? You know, these are questions we just don't have the answer to, and we could speculate forever, but we don't have the answer. But you can see how snaky the road is. So Jay would probably think, oh God, I'm not walking all that way, I'll just cut across. You could see that could be, can't you? Well, I think you can anyway. So let's have a look at this. How long is it? Oh, it's only 40. Yeah, we're going to look at this. This is like a drive along this road. I feel like I've been in we've watched so many videos about Masca and Santiago del Teide. I honestly just wish I was a bit closer, and I would have gone myself to do this drive to have a look. Because, of course, I'm in mainland Spain, which is miles away from Tenerife, to be honest. Tenerife is nearer to Africa than Spain. It's you know, it's not just up the road. But yeah, so this is the road. I think this is going the other way from where Jay would have done, because he would have started off from Masca and gone to Santiago del Teide. But it still gives you the impression of the road. But don't forget, this was starting at the other end from what Jay would have done. Yeah, and we've seen this road, how narrow it is. It's narrow, it's curvy. All these bricks along the side of the road to stop people coming off the road, of course. You know, if there's an accident. And you know, I can see like people say, "Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, look, there's somebody walking there." That'd be funny if it was Jay, wouldn't it? Look, you know, it's quite dangerous, isn't it? I mean, he could have been run over. You know, he could have been run over, and he could be on the other side of that wall. And that happened near to where I am once. Two pedestrians, a man and a woman, walking along, not a road even like this, but some drunk driver. See, this is what can happen. You know, if somebody was driving on that road, I mean, even the guys that took Jay there, you know, I'm assuming they'd been out all night. I mean, had they been drinking? It's that cloud over there, goodness me. You know, someone could have come along and hit Jay, knocked him over the wall, you know, and not even realised. So what had happened near me, they found a guy. They weren't a British couple. They were Scandinavian, or so, you know, from somewhere in Scandinavia. They found the guy. It was a hit and run. The guy was just dead at the side of the road, and they didn't know. Like that guy just walking up there. Of course, the police did not know that actually there were two of them. There was him and his wife had been knocked up in the air and launched further on. And they didn't find her for about 3 days because she'd been knocked behind some bushes. And of course, when they found this guy, initially, they did not know that he you know, they've just found a guy there. And until they start looking into it, they were on their holidays. They had a holiday home here. So they start looking into it, and someone turns around and goes, "Oh, well, where's his wife, or where's my mum?" I mean, it could have been their children. I don't know the whole ins and outs. So the Guardia went back to search more thoroughly, and literally found the woman behind bushes, and nobody had seen her in those couple of days that she'd just been lying there. It's just awful. So, you know, the thing is, not everything's a conspiracy. Sometimes weird things do happen. Gosh, look at that. Look at the cloud. Oh, my God. So do you see what I'm saying? So let's suppose Jay had been walking up this road. He got run over, got pushed over, you know, flung over the edge there. Well, nobody would know he was there. Who would look there? You know, these are all possibilities that might have happened. So with a bit, and look how vast it is. It's so vast. You know, it is so difficult. Let's hope and pray that this Dutch team, these dogs that they're bringing out, the Malinois dogs or whatever search dogs they're bringing out, let's hope and pray. You know, so he could be on this bank here. He could have fell down there or been knocked down there. There's a million things that might have happened to Jay, none of which are good. Besides the other conspiracy theories, etc. You know, besides all that. So there's some cars there, people would go and stand there. Oh, it looks like they're selling something maybe there. Sometimes in Spain, I don't know about in Tenerife, but you'll be driving along and somebody will just stop and they'll have like a table there. They'll be selling melons or lemons or oranges or, you know, just selling stuff on the road, which they're not really supposed to do, but they do. Yeah, I think this video is, gosh, look at that. So I can see how people think it's beautiful. It's got its rugged beauty. But I don't know. You know, I don't think it's for me, really. I quite like watching it on here. I've enjoyed watching all the videos of the terrain, etc. But, you know, it's not a terrain I would want to traverse. But see how wide it is. So you could see someone like Jade think, you know, a young person would think, oh, God, I'm not walking all the way around that snaky road. I'm just going to cut across here. Because initially, it doesn't look that bad, does it? You know, initially, I wonder if we'll get an angle of it in a bit. You sort of look at it and think, oh, yeah, you can't see how difficult the terrain is. And, of course, it's got the slippy stones. It's, you know, it would have been there. So I think he would have aimed for that sea, that bit in between the sea. My concentration's always there. if he did decide to take a shortcut. Now, really, we have to presume that he did, because he found his, unless you think Brad's a liar and Brad's an arch manipulated murderer and he's a 19-year-old teenager from Oswald Twistle. But so people seem to think he's some kind, oh my God, look at that. Look at that. People seem to think, Lucy and Brad are some sort of arch conspirators, and it just doesn't make sense to me, that at all. It just doesn't. I mean, it may be true. What do they think? They're like, I don't know, child psychopathic murderers, so I just don't believe it. So if we do believe Brad, which I do believe Brad and Lucy, and the police seem to believe them, he was, oh God, I just went a bit dizzy there watching that. God, I go dizzy just watching it on the telly, so God knows what I'd be like if I was actually there. I get terrible vertigo with heights. It really is. Whoa. Gosh. It's a very good video, this. I hope they don't do me for copyright. That's why I've turned the sound down, because if you leave any type of music or sound on, YouTube are right there blocking you for copyright or, demonetizing you or whatever. So there's no sound for that reason. It's a very good video, I think, to give you an idea. So we're getting more now to where Jay would have started off. So remember, oh my God, that just made me go so dizzy. And I think that's that ridge that Paul Arnott went across. He was clinging on. And of course, don't forget, it's very windy. It's got its own little microclimate up there. It can be really windy. Tenerife in general is windy. And of course, it goes very cold at night and very hot in the afternoon. So it won't have been the best conditions for a young lad who's just spent 3 days raving. He's got no water, got no phone, wearing shorts and a t-shirt. It's not an environment that would be easy for him to cross, and I just think he didn't have any idea about it. Look at that road. Goodness, when you see it like that. Wow. So I presume that's a drone, isn't it? They've sent a drone up for that. So this Dutch team that are arriving, or have arrived, that are probably starting searching today, they have drones. So this is a familiar road to us now, isn't it? We've seen Paul Arnott walk up it so many times, or other people. And yeah, I just think he'll have aimed for that gap in between the mountains where he could see the sea. He'd know that if you just keep going down, 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 you will eventually come to the sea. You can tell from there you would. And if, my theory is correct, which is that that's exactly what he tried to do, get down there, you can easily see that he may have come to harm. Now, in a minute, I'm going to read you what a climber said. In fact, I think I'll read it as I'm playing this video. I'll read this. Somebody sent me this article. Thank you very much. Lots of people send me articles. So let's see. So this was somebody who is a hiker, and they went to try and experience what the walk would be. So this is from the Manchester Evening News. After knocking on the door of the Airbnb in Masker and speaking to locals yesterday for the MEN, I walked north along the road up towards the search site. These are the 6 things that I noticed along the way. So I think I'm going to read this out as we're watching this video. The road is steep and tiring. So remember, he's coming the opposite way to the way this car's going. So on the morning of June the 17th, the weather was relatively cool for Tenerife. compared to the high 20s temperature of yesterday afternoon. But regardless of the weather, the steep climbs of the mountain road up from the Airbnb are straining on the body. And at one point, I sat on a bollard for a break, despite being relatively fit and a regular walker. Now, of course, Jay was young. That's the one thing he had going from him. We can assume he's relatively fit if he's an apprentice bricklayer. You know, he didn't look overweight, etc. But the thing is, he's not a hiker, you know, and he wasn't dressed right. He didn't have water. He'd been raving for 3 days. You know, he hadn't had any sleep from what we can gather. The night before, he'd had hardly any sleep, had he? So, you know, that's a lot more to say, isn't it, about it? I'm just going to watch this to the end before I carry on with things, because it's coming up to the point now, coming up near now where Jay would have set off from Masca. So I just want to have a look at this with you. What I'm going to do when this video ends, I'm going to put it to start again and then carry on reading what they'd read. So yeah, this is, they're actually in Masca now. So this is the way that Jay perhaps came initially, but of course the other way. And the theories are, aren't they, that at some point he saw that thing. You know, you can see that he would look at that thing. Oh, that's the way down to the beach. Did he go off the road? Or was he forced off the road? Was he run over? Was he picked up by somebody on the road and came to foul play? You know, these are all possibilities. You can see even here there's drops, you know. Now, he'd said to Brad he was off the road. You know, he had said that. If we believe Brad, which I do believe Brad, because I don't feel that there's any reason not to believe him. So there's these rest stops, aren't they, for cars to park up and have a look at the lovely views, or set off on a hike, I suppose. And here we are now coming into Masca. It's very interesting. Look, there's bus tours. There's the cafe. It's a very interesting video, this. As they all are. Oh, he's going to park up there. It must be nearly finished. Yeah, I'm going to put it back to the beginning and then read out, carry on reading out this. I'll just watch it to the end. I mean, there are stunning views, absolutely stunning views. So back to the beginning and I'll read out the article. So the stretch up to the viewing point at Cruz de Hilda, where emergency services were based during the official search until June the 30th, is particularly challenging. It's hard to imagine the walk being any easier after a night of raving either. Now, of course, when we've watched Paul Arnott doing that walk, he was breathless, wasn't he? And, you know, although we don't think he's the experienced mountain climber he always makes himself out to be, maybe, he is a young, fit lad all the same, and he found it difficult. And I think that Jay smokes, you know, we've seen Jay with cigarettes, so that won't have helped either. So it's easy to lose your footing. While the area is remote, it's a magnet for tourists who want to explore an authentic experience of Tenerife. I mean, lots of people will go to Tenerife just for the party, won't they? Just for the party area, they probably would never go up there. Whereas people who want to see the real Tenerife would go to this park and be rewarded with stunning views. That means passing cars are quite common, and with the road being narrow, you have to leave as much space as possible at the side of the road. There are no designated footpaths alongside the road, but there's a curb which dips at the side. At one point, my foot slipped, but I managed to stay upright, although that could have been challenging if I wasn't sober. Right, some breaking news has just flicked up while I'm reading this. Let's have a look. Something inexplicable. Let's see. Of course, you know, even the mainstream media are always putting up things, and you think, oh, there's something, but then it turns out to be nothing. Let's see. Oh, no, it's something and nothing. Just to get you on there, isn't it? It worked because I went off the article I was reading. But it's nothing. I will check, obviously, for news of Jay before I go from this video. As always, I'm always checking for news of Jay. Let's see. So yeah, at one point my foot slipped, but I managed to stay upright, though that could have been challenging if I was not sober. So what this guy is saying is that he nearly slipped. The surroundings are beautiful, vast and intimidating. Think of Tenerife and you're likely to picture the Veronica's Strip and Brits supping cheap half-litres of Dorada lager by the sea. The rural Parc de Tenno is the polar opposite. Imposing mountains, deep ravines and row after row of trees and cacti surround you in the area, which is a designated site of scientific interest. But that beauty is also intimidating, and it's easy to see how you could get lost amongst the nature. Strong winds arrive quickly and forcefully. Tenerife is known for its all-year sunshine and reliably warm weather, but as we Brits know only too well, life can be pretty breezy on an island. While the weather was still calm and hot as I began my walk yesterday afternoon, by the time I reached the search point, a gusty wind was blowing. There had also been a strong wind as I visited the area on Thursday, to the extent it could knock you slightly off balance. There are steep drops beside you along the mountain road which crosses the village of Masca and the rural Parc de Tenno. Rectangular bollards line the route. They're in place to stop vehicles veering off course on the challenging journey. In some places, that becomes even more important. You're never far away from the side of a ravine or a steep mountain edge, and walkers have to watch where they are standing. It's incredibly remote. Part of the attraction of the rural Parc de Tenno is its idyllic character, unlike the bustling party scene in the south of Tenerife. Yet the area where Jay walked north from the Airbnb is very remote. Amenities in the area are few and far between. A cafe at the Cruz de Hilda viewpoint opens at 10 a.m. on Mondays, later than when Jay is believed to have been in the area. Yeah, I think that cafeteria probably wasn't open when he was there at about 8 o'clock. Had Jay walked in the right direction to Los Cristianos, he could have found other people and something to eat or drink in the centre of Masca or further along in the town of Santiago del Teide. So, yeah. You know, just looking at this, where he's come, but of course, just to remind you, he came the other way, supposedly. Let's go forward again to nearer where it's supposedly. See, we don't know how far he got. The problem is we know where his phone last pinged, but he told Lucy he had hardly any battery left. What we don't know is how far he got after that. So he literally could be anywhere. Because once his phone went off, you know, we have no idea where he was. No idea whatsoever. So, you know, that's pretty scary, isn't it? That he literally could be anywhere. Let me just, as we're watching this, I will check just to make sure there's not been any news yet. I just keep expecting, you know, a breaking news. Something's been found, but of course they'll have only just got going there It's an hour behind there in Tenerife, so it'd be 11:28 at the moment. So it still won't be too hot, hopefully, for them. They'll probably have to take a break around about lunchtime, and then they'll be able to search again after that, because you know, it's light till, well, you know, almost 10 o'clock. So yeah. Yeah, so this is more or less the area. I mean, how, you know, the lady that saw him said that he was walking quickly. So how far could he have got? And if he did take a shortcut, because his first message, of course, was to Brad, saying that, and that was upbeat, and he was laughing about it, joking about it, like you would be as a young lad who's, you know, been on God knows what for 3 days. And Brad, of course, he would have been high as a kite as well. The both of them had been partying for 3 days. But then his next call to Lucy, according to her, and again, you know, I don't know why she would lie, his next call to Lucy was a different tone, wasn't it? It was very panicked. And that's when he was saying he didn't know where he was. He'd cut himself on a cactus. His phone was out of battery. He had no water. And then I don't know if it cut off or if somebody else called him or whatever, but that was the last he was heard of. And shortly after that, his phone switched off, which it would if it only had 1% battery, wouldn't it? So, Jay, where are you? Where are you? Where are you, Jay? Okay, now, you know, I've got at some point, maybe tomorrow, you know, I'm hoping there'll be some real news, because at the moment, really, all we're able to do, as long, you know, if we don't sort of get involved with all the crazy speculation, which I'm not planning on doing, all we can do really is talk about what happened, go back over the trip, look at people showing us the trip. There's let's have a look, maybe I can find it. There's another, because we've been watching Paul Arnott and his input on the scene, which I've found his videos interesting. You know, I don't, as I say, as we've said, I don't think he's like exactly a proper search expert, but he's been doing something. He's been out there, he's been taking videos, and you know, that's good. No, he's not made any comment on Facebook today yet. And then, of course, there's this Christopher Tenerife. He's another guy. Maybe we can have a look at one of his videos. Let's see. Yeah, he's been walking the walk, trying to walk the way that that Jay walked. Maybe we could have a look at one of his videos. I hope he doesn't mind. Let's see, he's on TikTok, of course. I think he has got a YouTube channel as well. Oh, I don't know how to share TikTok so much. Sorry, I don't know how to share TikTok. Oh, there you go.
Where the phone pinged, you had a real good search there. And I went down to the RP. That's on the map that Luggy's going to put on. Then I made my way down the ravine to the V point. The V point was the point we were going to search before we went on to where the next V point is. And that's where the Chief of the Guardia Civil said his team didn't have ropes, so they couldn't search it, but they needed ropes in order to search it. Now, when you get down to the first V point, which is where I went in the ravine, once you get down there, if he's in trainers, one, I'm scratched and cut and I've got appropriate clothing. If Jay'd gone down there, God knows what state he would have been in. When you get down to that viewpoint, you're sandwiched between the side of a mountain like this and vegetation, which is 9-10 foot tall and so dense, I could not get through it. If I had a machete, if I tried to bulldoze my way through it and my life depended on it, I probably would have got through it. But it was not safe for me to try and get through it. It was so hard. It's a man trap. Once you're down there and you're in trainers, you're not scrambling back up. You're trapped. It's a man trap. And at that point, you got two options. You roll over and die, or Jay kept going, somehow found his way through it. And after that, he was going to meet the biggest challenge you'll see on the map. Then he's got, you know, cliffs to get down and rocks to get down and to get down to the path to make it to the beach. I think, honestly, what's needed, he would have been exhausted. I'm blown. I came all the way back up. I'm just done in.
Don't know why I can never pause anything on TikTok for some reason. Oh, there you go. So yeah, now it's interesting. I mean, he looks shaken up there, doesn't he? And he said here, this was a day ago, he said only the Guardia Civil or a specialist military team will locate Jay Slater. So he's been there and he's seen those things. That it, you know, I think it all depends whether you believe if Jay is there or not, which I do. But I agree. I don't think, you know, just somebody, be, or even a hiker who's, you know, an experienced hiker who goes into the difficult bits.
It's not safe for me or anyone else to go and search down there in the bottom of that ravine. The mountain rescue have been down there. The Guardia Civil have done a great job. But in my opinion, I think the Guardia Civil needs to call in a specialist unit from the Spanish military, and they've got to go back to that ravine. They've got to go back to the V point where the cliffs are and the rocks are, which leads into the boulder alley, the boulder area that goes right down to the beach. I think they need a specialist military unit to come in and research that area. So really quick resume.
Yeah. He looks shaken up, doesn't he? He looks shaken up. So that was this one. Let's have a look at this one.
Oh, man. That was hard. Midday heat. Bottom of the ravine. Stuck at the bottom. It was so dense. Could not get through it.
There's no way.
Oh, mate. I was thinking I was going to be stuck down there, man.
Huh.
It was like just tiptoe bit by bit back up. Oh fucking wreck. Yeah. Oh, man. That was hard. Midday heat. Bottom of the ravine. Stuck at the bottom. It was so dense.
It's terrifying. I mean, these guys, like Paul, they've got to be careful because otherwise the police are going to end up looking for them. So anyway, they've got some experts out there now, this team of Dutch people, and they're a team. You know, you can't go out there on your own, can you? You just can't.
So yeah, I've just arrived back home. What we've tried to do with the map, which we're going to share with all of you guys who've got an interest in Jay and helping to find Jay, is we've approached this using the facts and in a sober-minded way and not deviating from the facts. We've not got involved in conspiracy theories.
Good.
We don't want to do that because we don't want to potentially ruin innocent people's lives.
Exactly.
I'm not a detective, never professed to be one. I'm not a mountaineer. I was a volunteer that responded to a call from the Guardia Civil to go up and help. And on the day I went up and helped, the search was cancelled. I'm just a concerned citizen. and I was doing this to try and help find Jay for his family. Now, in the videos that we're going to put up, and thanks for the whole team and everyone who's helped from afar and everyone who's helped up close and personal, especially Adrian, especially Luggy. Guys, we couldn't have done no, this was our team effort. And what we've done is we've created our plan based on the information we had in front of us. Once we had our plan based on the evidence and the facts, we've spent 5 times more time research and analysing and using the process of elimination to really home in our plan like a laser guided target. So when we put boots on the ground, we're not wandering through the mountains aimlessly. We're visiting specific spots. Now, what you'll see in the videos is a series of decisions that Jay would have had to take. And once he's come off road, that was a mistake. I've been up there today with 4.5 litres of liquid and all the correct war hiking gear. Jay was in shorts and a t-shirt and trainers. He was hungry. He wanted to go and get some scran. And he had no water on him. He would have dehydrated really quickly. I was prepared, Jay wasn't. So keep that in mind when you look at all the videos. Put yourself in the mindset of Jay. What would he have done?
Exactly, yeah. The trouble is it's difficult, even for Christopher, for all of us, who are not 19-year-old boys just out of a fiesta, out of a 3-day rave. It's difficult for us to put our minds in, you know, in Jay's mind. I think a lot of the time people say, oh, why would you have done that? And why would you have left the road? And, you know, why? But you just cannot put yourself in the head of somebody that is not like you, unless you can remember what you were like when you were at that age. The other thing is he was hungry. The only reason I just know this thing with the bus, when he realised that the bus wasn't till 10 o'clock and he had a 2-hour wait, I just know that young lads, they won't wait for buses. They're too impatient. Now, why he didn't get a taxi, I don't know, because of course he apparently in that conversation with Brad had said to him, just get a taxi, which would have cost a lot of money, of course. But having said that, I think he didn't get a taxi because he couldn't get, where was he going to get a taxi from? He was already off the road. Maybe he tried to get back up, but the cafeteria was closed. For some reason, he wouldn't go back to the Airbnb. You know, maybe they were asleep. Maybe he'd fallen out with him. I don't know. I don't feel there's anything suspicious about those men, really, because I feel the police would have detained them for longer if they had anything to detain them with, especially in the view of one guy's, you know, the one guy's had already a conviction. You know, I'm sure the police could have found a reason to keep him if there was reason to keep him. But, you know, maybe it just wasn't, we have no idea what that situation was back at the Airbnb. You know, we just don't know. So, but at the end of the day, the upshot is that Jay was seen coming out of the Airbnb. So if that was the last time he was ever seen or heard of, you know, going in there and there was nothing to show that he'd ever come out of there, they would be more of a focus, I'm sure, of the police attention. But the police have got his phone, they've got the messages, the phone calls, and the witness as well, who supposedly saw Jay walking up the road. So unless you take the view that all of those people are in it together, you have to believe that Jay, whatever happened in the Airbnb, which we don't know, but that he did come out of it. So that is what, you know, we do know.
In that situation, what would you have done in that situation? At every key step, every key decision point. And I think what you'll find is Jay went off road, which was a mistake. You'll see the area of the phone ping. You'll see it's one of the only areas you can sit.
But he's
Then he's gone
smoking
to
as
the
well.
RP point, which will put the maps up so you can see it. At the point where he's gone off the RP point, you're now in the ravine. And when you get to the ravine, you come to the V point at the bottom.
I'm breathless and I haven't smoked for about, I don't know how many years, probably 8 years. So when they're going on these altitudes and that, you need to be careful really, because, you know, already the altitudes make you breathless. And if you're smoking as well, it's not good, is it? But anyway, just worrying about
Once
him,
you get
that's
to
all.
that, there's no coming back. There's no coming back. It's a man trap. Jay's got that far. Remember, all he's got no fluids, he's got no phone, he's got no communication, he's in a strange place. Now he's lost and now he's scared. No one in the world there to help him. And at that point, he finds himself in a man trap. The only thing he's got now is survival instinct. And his survival instinct is gravity. Gravity's going to keep taking him down. Remember, he wasn't climbing mountains, he was going down them. And he was heading for the coast.
Yeah.
Now, unless
what I've
the
said
Guardia
from day
Civil or the
one.
Spanish military are going to put on another search and really search the areas that we're going to post, then my belief is one day someone else, a hiker, will get in trouble in that barranco, in that ravine. And
Joe, this is, I can't believe I haven't watched this before, because he's saying exactly what I've been saying from day one. It'll be a hiker that will find him, or maybe now because they're bringing in this search team from Holland, hopefully they'll find him. But if not, it'll be a hiker one day, will either, like he says, either get into trouble, or maybe a hiker who knows the area really, really well. Some hikers, they like to live on the edge, you know, go down the difficult areas, don't they? Or it'll be a hiking group, or it'll be something. They will come across Jay. That I've thought that from, well, not from day one, because from day one I thought that he might be found alive. The first couple of days, I really thought they were going to find him, and it'd be like, oh my God, thank God, you know, I was completely lost. You know, I thought he could have survived a few days. But now it's gone this long. I cannot see that. I cannot see it.
and they'll have to be saved. And only when people go into it again with a search party, I think we're going to find Jay. Let's say he was lucky and he managed to get through it all against all the odds, and he got to the beach. Even when he got to the beach, it's like something out of Pirates of the Caribbean. There's no access to the beach, only by that barranco or by boat. Jay has made a series of mistakes, not knowing the consequences of those decisions.
Oh.
Jay's stuck somewhere in that barranco, in that mountain, lost. One day he'll be found. So yeah, just
I agree with him. I completely agree with him. Now he did a video of the man trap.
Back
What
at the
he
RP
calls the
point,
man trap.
which is where I left Chris. With my little walking sticks. He went down here on his butt. I think he went down there. Yeah, he didn't go this one. He went around this one. I didn't like the look of it. It was too steep for me. I didn't have the sticks, and I'm just not going to put myself at that kind of risk. I mean, I'm not saying it's dangerous, and you've got these deep sort of ravine cuts. You might not see them here, but they kind of cut.
Yeah.
They're cut, and they're probably.
I think the whole problem as well with this scenery is that just looking at it like that, I think, oh, it doesn't look that bad. But when you go close into it, you'd be sort of, you might go across some of it before you suddenly thought, oh shit, you know, this is a nightmare. I don't think you can see it easily, you know, until you're actually in it.
A good 4 feet deep, if not more. I don't know what's down there, but he went down there to try and get to this green patch. Tried shouting, and I'm not getting any response from him, so I'm going to call him in a sec. I know he had 50% on his phone, but all good. I'm sure he's fine. He's got the right training. He's got water. He's got some food. So, but yeah, I think he went down there. This was part of the exercise to go to. I think this was RS1 or S1, as Luggy said. And then there was an OB observation, OP observation point. I don't know. This is the RV rendezvous point or the RP. I'm not sure, but yeah. Okay, just come back, mate. Fucked,
No.
right? How was it?
Fuck off.
Yeah, over you than me. I went down that other bit and then I ended up.
Oh man, I got stuck at the bottom of the ravine. There's no way through.
Yeah,
No way through.
yeah, I thought so.
The only way back was to come back up.
Yeah, fucking shredded. Jesus.
It's not too bad. Oh.
Yeah. All right. Back at the RP point, which is where I left Chris. With my little walking sticks. He went down here on his butt.
Yeah. So, again, let's have a look. These are very interesting again, aren't they? Interesting videos. Where we're going to go? Let's look at this one.
So yeah, I've come off. Like I say, once you're off, I ain't going back that way. Talk about being committed. So I need to get into that water crescent there.
Yeah, do you see what I'm saying? It doesn't look that, when you look at it like that,
and then
doesn't look that bad. You know, if you didn't know anything about that area and you know, didn't know anything about much, like 19-year-olds, you think, oh, that's all right. You know, but once you get into it, it's different.
Meeting Adrian at the RV point over there. Yeah, this is yeah, I've come
So
on.
go and check his TikTok out. Looks very interesting. We'll look at some of the videos in other ones. Hoping for some news, of course. Hoping for some news soon. Oh, I hope he's found before that stupid documentary comes out. The Channel 5 documentary. I hope he's found before then. Really, really do. And just hope he's found. His family can be put out of their misery, finally. Okay, I'm going. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave your DNA on the like button, and I'll see you really soon, as always, in the next video. Thank you.